Hey team, how's it going? The market has been down hard for a couple months, and of course, this has emboldened many of crypto's critics. The criticisms are plenty. Some of them are totally earned. I recently did a response video of an over 2-hour takedown claiming that all of crypto was a scam. There's a lot that needs to improve in the cryptocurrency space, like fraud, which is rampant. But the criticism I hear so often that has no basis in reality, that is so stupid, that demonstrates so much ignorance, is this one. It's when somebody says that Bitcoin is dead. I'm recording this video in February 2022, and I've been hearing variations of this claim for a decade, 10 years. And the longer folks persist in getting this wrong, the dumber they sound. This is some real smooth brain thinking. But the funny thing is, it's not dumb people who are saying this. They're credentialed. They have degrees from prestigious universities. They teach at prestigious universities.
So you have to play whack-a-mole with all these things. And so there are always going to be these other things, gold coins, uncut diamonds, now Bitcoin. They'll prevent it in the future.
They've worked with some of the largest and most influential financial institutions in the world. They're financially literate. They're technically literate. They're often the tastemakers of their particular industries. And I think that is exactly why they fail to understand what's going on. These institutions are being disrupted, but from inside the institution, everything looks like business as usual. They don't fully appreciate that the crypto revolution is at the gate and the siege is underway. First, let's just look at the history, shall we? When people say Bitcoin is dead, what they're almost always talking about is the price. They assume that the price is everything, the only thing that matters, really. First, they're wrong on that superficial evaluation. It totally ignores why the price is what it is. Bitcoin is a payment network to send any amount of value anywhere in the world to anybody at any time with no intermediaries and negligible cost. That's been the value proposition from day one, and it's pretty damn powerful. But even if we are just talking about price, just glancing at the history shows that Bitcoin is neither dead nor dying, very clearly.
This one time, Bitcoin went from 6 cents all the way to 36 cents, and then it crashed down to 21 cents. And then another time, Bitcoin went from 85 cents all the way to $29, and then it crashed to $3. And then another time, Bitcoin went all the way to $1,100, and then it crashed all the way to $239. So the moral of the story is, don't buy Bitcoin, because you know it's going to crash again.
Let's take a brief, non-exhaustive jaunt through the history of Bitcoin crashes. And huge thanks to 99bitcoins.com for their Bitcoin obituaries. It is a list of all the times that people have publicly declared some version of Bitcoin is dead. This is truly a public service. Thank you, 99bitcoins. So let's dive into the archives. Again, this is non-exhaustive, but for the purposes of our conversation, we will begin with spring 2013. Coinbase had launched the year prior, and Bitcoin was beginning to get occasional mainstream media mentions in fluff stories, what they call in the news business a kicker, a fun story to close your show on.
Everyone is buzzing about Bitcoin. Satoshi Nakamoto.
The Bitcoin price hung out in the low teens for a few months, when in March, a strange thing happened. The Cyprus bail-in. The Cypriot financial system was collapsing. As part of a bailout from the EU, the government of Cyprus and the Cypriot banks were required to do something unprecedented. They just took people's money. Regular people with deposits in Cypriot banks woke up one day to account balances that were 10% lower than when they had gone to bed. The government called it a previously unannounced tax or levy, and it siphoned off billions of euros. Sorry, citizen, powerful people were irresponsible, and now 10% of your savings are gone literally overnight. You'll never get back, and there's nothing you can do about it.
People have worked hard for years, for their whole lifetime, to save some money, and then overnight, they lose it. This is not fair.
Eula Dimitriou is the matriarch of this family business. She's going to have 80,000 euros taken from her savings.
I have friends in France, in Italy, in Spain, in Greece, and they are scared. They said this has happened once, it may happen again.
How much money did the family have in the banks here?
The family had in the company around 2 million euro.
2 million euro?
Yes, and we can't get anything from our accounts. Everything is blocked.
Unsurprisingly, the value of Bitcoin, a self-custody money that can't be confiscated and was invented explicitly as a countermeasure to unaccountable institutions, went way up. On January 1st, Bitcoin was at $13.31, ramping steadily to March 25th when the price reached $74. When the bail-in hits, the price shoots straight up to $213, then crashes to $65, down 69% from its all-time high, a price not seen since 3 weeks prior. Devastating, and predictably, there were many people eager to declare Bitcoin dead at that point. The Bitcoin bubble has burst. Why Bitcoin is doomed. Bitcoin is a Ponzi. Flash forward. Fall 2013. Less than a year after the last quote-unquote deadly Bitcoin crash, the cryptocurrency is rallying again. Having stabilized for most of the year around $100, the price began to rise steadily in the fall. On Tuesday, October 1st, the FBI arrests Ross Ulbricht, aka the Dread Pirate Roberts, the man behind the Silk Road black market. To this point, most of the press about Bitcoin in the mainstream media was about its use for illicit purposes, buying drugs and arms. With the arrest of Ulbricht, many expected demand for Bitcoin to simply disappear. It did not disappear. In the following weeks, the price went parabolic, reaching over $1,200 on November 29th, an order of magnitude higher than previous all-time highs. But the growth was unsustainable, and the crash finally came. From November 29th to December 17th, 2013, in about 3 weeks' time, Bitcoin collapsed from over $1,132 per coin to $510, a 55% drop. And predictably, many people took this opportunity to say that Bitcoin was dead. Sorry, libertarians, your dream of a Bitcoin paradise is officially dead and gone. The real reason Bitcoin is doomed. Bitcoin is dead when the bubble bursts. Flash forward again. End of year 2017. A lot has happened between the prior major rally and the end of 2017. Plenty of news, activity, major hacks, building infrastructure, but not a ton of price action. True story, I am in this book that was published during that time. It talks about when my wife and I lived using nothing but Bitcoin for all purchases for 3 months in 2013, and we also made a documentary about that. Link to the documentary down in the description. But back to the point, as literal winter approaches in the Northern Hemisphere, crypto winter was ending. Bitcoin rallied again to new highs. It hits $5,000 for the first time, then $10,000. Then on December 18th, Bitcoin's price reaches almost $20,000 right before crashing again. Initially, it tumbled to about $13,000 or $14,000 in a couple weeks, then $6,800 a few weeks after that, ultimately dipping as low as $3,200 just a year after the exhilarating highs. When the euphoria of high prices had deflated, another crypto winter was setting in, lasting until the long roller coaster of the past 2 years. The rumblings about a strange sickness from the other side of the globe hit the United States in full force at the beginning of 2020. Celebrities announced they'd gotten sick, and it was clear that the illness would be a serious concern for the whole world. Bitcoin's price dropped from $8,000 on March 11th to below $4,000 on Friday, March 13th, just 48 hours. Nobody seems entirely certain what the very near future will hold. Days, weeks, months, let alone the distant future of years. It's a scary time. In the midst of that tumultuous year, many people took their chance to declare Bitcoin dead yet again. The value of Bitcoin will drop to zero. Cryptocurrency is dead. Bitcoin is still rat poison squared. Bitcoin is worthless. Bitcoin is over. Rest in peace. Cryptocurrencies are a fad. Please stop asking me about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a Ponzi. Bitcoin is in a massive bubble.
It's in a massive bubble.
Here's your Bitcoin bear case, $0. I won't buy Bitcoin, and you shouldn't either. Bitcoin's hyperbolic bubble is going to burst, but time moves on and things pick up. Famed investor Paul Tudor Jones buys Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation. It becomes more and more clear that institutions are keenly interested in Bitcoin. PayPal opens up Bitcoin buying, Coinbase files to go public, Tesla buys Bitcoin and accepts Bitcoin as payment. Elon sets his Twitter bio to simply Bitcoin. The first Bitcoin ETF goes live. The price rallies to new highs of over $6,300. And then Tesla stops accepting Bitcoin. China bans Bitcoin, again for the dozenth time. From its high on April 13th, 2021 of over $63,500 to July 20th, 2021 at below $30,000, Bitcoin loses 53% of its value, a devastating crash. And over the following year, just repeat that cycle. It went back up to the 60,000s and then down again to the 30,000s. And what do you think happens next? Are you seeing the pattern? Are you seeing the pattern? Does Bitcoin still have a future? We are never going back. Its expected value is no higher than zero. Bitcoin is headed for $0. This billionaire investor predicts cryptocurrencies will go to zero. Jamie Dimon calls Bitcoin worthless. The Bitcoin delusion. Is Bitcoin the best cryptocurrency? Here's why not. The crypto con. Why Bitcoin is nothing but a Ponzi. Bitcoin could become worthless. Bitcoin may not last much longer. Bitcoin is worse than a Madoff-style Ponzi scheme. Bitcoin is a scam. Are you seeing the pattern? Is Bitcoin dead? From its all-time high on November 20th, 2021 of $69,400, we're down about 41% to about $40,000. As I write this, actually, as I've been writing this, the price has gone up. It's funny, isn't it? I mean, is Bitcoin dead, or is this just part of the fun. I'll give you a hint. You've just reviewed some of Bitcoin's history. Add to that the current activity in the Bitcoin space. Institutions and countries are signaling their interest, or they've already quietly bought in. All signs point to this right now being your chance to buy low before things get crazy again. I've just talked about the price in this video, but really there are so many things, so many other things we should talk about. The hash rate, the mining power running the Bitcoin network is just unkillable. People thought it would be the death knell when China banned Bitcoin and crypto mining. In September 2019, China accounted for 75% of Bitcoin's energy use. Then they outlawed Bitcoin mining. By September 2021, 2 years later, China accounted for 0% of Bitcoin's mining network, and the network was fine. A mass exodus of miners out of China, and within months, the network was stronger than ever. And P.S., here is a projection of Bitcoin's hash rate over the next couple years. It's only getting stronger, much stronger. Are you seeing the pattern? Institutions are buying in. Countries are buying in. There is, at this point, very little short of a cosmic impact that could derail this train. I'm not saying that Bitcoin is the only opportunity out there. I'm not saying that it's the crypto that will see the most gains in any particular duration, though there is an argument to be made for hyper-Bitcoinization, which would be wild to see. It's where the whole world adopts into this. There's so much more I want to dive into, but we'll save all of that for another time. What I am saying to you, and I will conclude with, is what I've been saying for 10 years. The ride is far from over. Bitcoin so far has been unkillable. Remember that the next time somebody tries to tell you that Bitcoin is dead. Just buckle up. Things are about to get a lot more interesting. That's what I've got today, team. What do you think? Am I too bullish Bitcoin or not bullish enough? What do you want to hear next? I'm eager to dive deeper into DAOs and NFTs. A lot of people are adamantly into one of those topics or the other, or they're all Bitcoin or nothing. I think it's unproductive to be infighting. We are still so early in this space. I need to get my hands dirty with all of it. What do you want to see me dive into? Let me know down in the comments, and we will talk about it in a future video. Thanks, team.